Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, this is more important to record. Okay. So in data warehouse, we have three concepts. Okay. First, dimension tables. We usually use a shortcut for that, dim tables. Dim stands for dimension. Okay. So we have dimension tables, we have fact tables, and we do have schemas. So three contents we do have in data warehouse. Okay, so we are going to learn each and everything in detail, right? So if you will be working in ETL data warehouse project, so definitely you will have to deal on daily basis with these three. Okay, if I'll talk about first two, so those are the major component of data warehouse you will have to carry on daily basis on fact and dimension tables. Those are very critical. Okay, all data in data warehouse always store in dimension and fact tables. Okay, nice. So next we are going to cover first dimension table, then fact table, then we will be covering schemas. Okay, dimension table. So how many type of dimension table we will have? We will have, okay, let me jump at the next step, that is a dimension. Okay, so let's first note down the dimension type. How many type of dimension tables we will have? We will have dimension type 1, dim 1, dim 2, dim 3, dim 4, dim 6. So these 5 type of dimension tables we will have. Okay, type of dimension. Okay, clear. So we will have 5 type of dimension tables in data warehouse. Okay, so what is the dimension? Dimension is nothing, just okay, what if there is any table, if there is any table, so that will store either the raw data, either the calculated data, right? When I'm saying calculated means the measures, okay, the numeric values. Okay, so in data warehouse we usually have two type of tables, right? Fact and dimension tables. If we are storing only and only raw data, okay, then that will be stored in dimension tables. Okay, that will be stored in dimension tables. And if you are going to store your calculated data, your numeric data, that will be stored always in fact tables. Always raw data will be in dimension tables. Fact table will have measures or calculated data, or numeric. Okay, so your dimension table will have a raw data. Okay, so if there is a raw data, so raw data can be changed any point of time. How? Let's say today your name is XYZ. You can change your name. Is it possible? Yeah, very few chance. Might be 1% chance you can change your name after getting the marriage, right? Sometimes it happens. Okay, but we do have multiple type of dimension tables. Okay, like type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 6. So what happens over here? Sometimes you do have a data, like for an example, there is a location table, employee location. Okay, today you joined one of the company here in Hyderabad location. The same company has office at Chennai location. You might change your location. The employee ID is same, but your location get changed. Your data get changed. Okay, so that row data was in the dimension table, but the direction had changed. So that is a dimension change. Okay, now you change again, you shift to Pune office. Now again your dimension get changed, your row data change. Okay, I mean whenever your row data is getting changed, it means you will have to save the changed data. Okay, so first of all, there is 5 type of dimension tables. We have multiple words for that. We use sometimes dim nothing is a dimension table. This is one of the name. I sometimes we use clear dimension table. Okay, sometimes slowly dimension table. Okay, any of the keyword, if you will get like what is the dimension table and tell me the type of dimension table, tell me type of dim table, tell me type of slowly changing dimension table, slowly changing dimension table. Okay, and there is again one more keyword for that, SCD. SCD type is a short form of slowly S changing C dimension D, SCD tables. Okay, so these 4 names, nothing, just a same name. Okay, of dimension type tables. So we do have 5 type of dimension tables. Each type of dimension table is having different kind of advantages. We are going to learn all type of advantage of each and everything. I'll be explaining in detail. Okay, so first we are going to learn dimension type 1, dim type 1. Okay, so here let's say, okay, first before starting this, let me ask one thing. Do you guys remember the architecture of data warehouse which I told you in first some classes? Do you
Yes,
remember?
yes.
All, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so there was first source. Praveen, can you please put yourself? Yeah, thank you. So first, you are aware about the ETL data warehouse architecture. So there was source, then pre-staging, then staging, and data warehouse at last, right? So this was the architecture. The same architecture we are going to learn over here. There will be dimension type 1, 2, 3 will be coming in the picture, and we will be learning that with one of the examples. Okay, please. Okay, so first there will be one table. I'm going to drive one of the table, and in that table there will be employee ID, employee name, date of birth, like this. We do have this table, and here the name of the table. Here, let me put the name of this table, employee location. Let's say for an example, I'm going to put the name of this and Okay. Okay, employee location is your table name in your source. Let me convert this as well. Okay. So your data first will be at your source. Okay, this is your source. Okay. After source, your data will move to. Can anyone tell me?
Prestaging.
Yeah, pre-staging. It means this data will move, this table will move to the pre-staging. So I'll be having similar kind of structure in pre-staging. Okay, the table. So I'm going to change the name here. Here, pre-staging. After pre-staging, where it will move? Data?
Staging.
Very nice. So we will have similar kind of table in staging. And after staging,
Data warehouse.
yes, that is the main. So we will have DWH. Let's keep everything, the column name and all, as of now, as it is. We will be changing later on. Okay. Now, here, this is nothing, just your DWH. Okay. So here, let me so this is DWH. Now, do you remember, guys? I told you one of the concept like each and every table in data warehouse will have one of the key. What is the name of that key? Do you remember?
Surrogate key.
Yes, surrogate key. We learned that how it works basically, right? Everyone is aware. Rest surrogate key.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So each and every table will have that surrogate key. Thank you, Deepali. So here I'm going to add one more column over here. That is your surrogate key. Okay. SID. Okay. S stands for surrogate, or and then ID means ID. So this is a surrogate key of this table. Okay. And surrogate key will be a primary key for that, right?
Yes.
Right, everyone. Okay. So what we did, we just added only one column. Okay. First, what we are learning? We are learning dim1. Okay. SCD type 1. Right. So this is type 1. We are learning SCD type 1. Okay. This is the name of. Okay. Nice. What will happen? First, you will have data here in this table in data warehouse. Sorry, in source, you do have table name, that is employee location. You have 4 columns over here in source. You will have same data in pre-staging. Then the data will be loaded in staging in similar kind of table. When data will move to the data warehouse in type 1 table, then you will have one column over there extra, that is your SID, I mean your surrogate key column. Okay, you will have extra surrogate key column. How it works? Basically, how it works. So any table in the data warehouse can have two type of data, either that is inserted first time, either any update is coming later on in the data, right? Either any data will come very first time, either later on any update can come. Okay, so let's learn both of the scenario with this SCD type 1. Okay, let's say I do have employee ID. I do have employee ID 101. Employee name is, let's say, Manit. Okay, date of birth is, let's say, for an example, this, and city is Pune, for an example. Okay, so this is my table, employee location. These four columns I do have a data as well over. Okay, this data is available in source. You will execute the job. Your job can be your job can be developed through the Informatica, through SSIS, or any kind of ETL tool, or the SQL jobs. Okay, once you will execute those kind of job, your data will be moving from your source to your pre-staging, right? So now you do have same data in your pre-staging. Okay, now again your data will move from pre-staging to staging. Here this is staging, there is no change. Okay, now when this data will move to data warehouse, always it take a lookup, it always check, and for each and every dimension table, how many type of dimension tables we will have? 5 type of dimension table, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 6, right? So whenever data will move from staging to data warehouse in any of the dimension type table, then always first it checks with the key, the natural key. Okay, it always check like that data is exist or not in the target, in the data warehouse, in the same kind of table, whatever you do have. So you do have data available here in employee location table, and here your natural key is 101. Okay, now you will check this 101, is this key available in data warehouse in the same table, employee location? Do we have that key available 101 in target? Do we have?
No.
If we do not have that key available, then what it will do? It will load the data employee ID into employee ID, name into name, date of birth into date of birth, city into city, right? In the same manner. So it will copy the data from here and move to the data warehouse, right? Into these tables. And we have defined surrogate key first column. So for the first key, for the first record, what will be the value for this?
1.
Yeah, it will be started from 1, right? I hope you aware about this surrogate key, or you forget about it. Surrogate key, we learned that in detail, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I will do one thing. I'll share that video again. Please go through that video. Okay, the surrogate key, that will help you. Okay, because that is very important. Each and every table will have that surrogate key. You will have to deal with the surrogate key, right? That should be on your tips. That's why I provided that key in detail, because that will be used over here in data warehouse. Okay. Okay. Anyways, so this is a chance. This is a way when the data will move from staging to data warehouse in the same table. Then first it take a lookup like this key value is available in target or not. If that is not available, then it will load the data, okay, in the SCD type 1 table. Okay, now then it will have a data for the surrogate key starting from 1. For the next record, your surrogate key value what will be? For the next record?
2.
And next?
3.
Yes. Will be auto incremented. Okay. Now next. After some time, let's say this employee changed his location from Pune to Hyderabad. Right? Hyderabad office. Let's say after a couple of months. Now this data will move to Prestaging first. Then after Prestaging, data will move to staging. Okay. Now it will again check. Do we have this employee ID 101 already available in target or not? Do we have this available?
Yes.
Yes. If that is already available, then what will happen? Here, this is already available data. Okay. So it will take a look up in this employee ID. Yes, that is already present. Then what it will do? It will not touch anything, only whatever is the change. What is the change? Only city. Whatever will be the change, it will copy the change and directly update that specific column. Okay. So in type 1, if data is coming very first time, like the first record, the data is coming first time, then it will directly insert the data. If there is any update coming, like in the second record, the city got changed from Pune to Hyderabad, then what it does, first it checks, it compare the employee ID, like do we have this employee ID already available in the SCD type 1 table? Yes, we do have already available. If that is already available, then whatever is the change in your column, like we do have the change in city column, then it will directly change the city. Okay, let's see one more example for this. After a couple of months, this user will move from Hyderabad to Delhi. Okay, now this data will move from source to pre-staging, then from pre-staging to staging. There is no change. Now it will, and we do have this data already available in the data warehouse. Okay, now first it always check, it will compare this employee ID in data warehouse. Do we have already exist this employee ID? Yes, right?
Right, sir.
Yes.
If that is already exist, that will check like what is the update, in which column we do have update. We do have update in city column, right? Now new city is Delhi. So what it will do, it will copy, it will take the value from city column and it will update the new value in the city column, right? Clear?
Yes.
Let's see one more example. Okay, let's see one more example. Okay, we do have this. Now he changed his location after 1 year from Delhi to Noida, right? The same record will be coming here in this table in pre-staging. Same record will come into the staging. Now we do have already exist this table, right? This is already existing table. Now first it will check the employee ID. Do we have already exist employee ID? Do we have? Yes, we do have 101. That is match. Then it will check like where is the update? In which column we do have update? City, like that is not match, right? Right? We do have new city available. So it will take the new city from your staging table. Okay. And it will update in the city in your SCD type 1 table in data warehouse. Is this clear? Type 1, how type 1 works? Clear to everyone?
I have one doubt.
Yes.
How many records will be in the data warehouse? How many
Sorry?
rows? How many rows it will be in data warehouse? All these four.
Okay. So if you will look at the scenario, so scenario is if you don't have, can you please put yourself on mute, Preeti as well? Okay, thank you. So first think the scenario. Okay, scenario is like if your data is coming first time for this employee ID 101, so that will be directly loading in the data warehouse. Then after loading that record, if any update will come in future, okay, like we do have 4 different updates in different months, 3 different updates. First location got changed, Hyderabad. Second location got changed, Delhi. Then Delhi to Noida. So what you are doing over here, you loaded the data first time in data warehouse, then later on you are just updating the record. You are just updating the location in the existing record. You were comparing the employee ID. If that is already exist, then you were directly updating that record. If you will look the surrogate key, that is a 1 only. Okay. So in type 1, if any record will come 10 times, 20 times, or 100 times, you will have only 1 record in target in your type 1 table. Okay. Clear?
The last updated one will be available in data warehouse.
Yes, the latest data will be available in data warehouse in type 1 table, in SCD type 1 table, in dimension 1 table, right? Clear?
So there is no backup, is it? Like, can't we restore from a previous version?
No, see, we do have these dimension tables, okay? Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 6, okay? Now, the different purpose of each dimension table, okay, if we want to look at the history, then there is a separate purpose. Okay, we can keep different kind of SCD type. If we want to have in a very specific table only the updated data, only the latest data, then we use the SCD type 1. Okay, only we use SCD type 1. The rest related to the backup and history and all, that will be coming in the different kind of SCD type. Okay, but the advantage of this SCD type 1 is it will always keep the latest data. If you get 100 times update for any employee for a specific year, so that SCD type will have only 1 record. That will be the latest record. Like here, first time we get this record that was loaded directly. Later on, 3 updates came. 3 different updates come, but only we do have latest record always. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then let's move to the next, that is SCD type 2. Okay. So your SCD type 1 does not keep the history. Remember, your SCD type 1 does not keep the history. It always keep the updated data, only the latest data. Okay. If we want to keep the history, we can use type 2 table, SCD type 2 table. Okay. Let's see the same example. We do have one on the table, employee location. Let's have a separator. Okay. Here we are going to learn SCD type 2. We have one on the table in our source, employee location. Okay. And we do have a data available there. This one record. Let me keep the same source, staging, prestaging, and DWH. Similarly, here we will have now. Okay, we do have one of the table, employee location. Here we will have these 4 columns. Now we will have same table available in pre-staging, same table will be available in staging, and same table will be available in data warehouse. But remember, we will have 2 or 3 extra column will be available in data warehouse. Okay, 1 second. Let me keep the same table, this structure over here, just for a second, like this. This was my table. We have first column the surrogate key. Now we need to add some more columns over here. Okay, what new column will be? Here will be start date and end date, and the third column will be active flag. Active flag. We can use active, the column name. Okay. So we will have 3 extra column here in data warehouse table if we do have SCD type 2 table. Okay, start date, end date, and active flag. What is the use of this? We will be learning right now. So let me think all these 3 columns all together. Okay, so now let's learn the use, how it will work. So first, you don't have this record. Okay, you have learned the same example with SCD type 1. The same example we are going to learn with SCD type 2, right? So your this data will be moving from your source to pre-staging. There will not be any change. Then your same data will be moving from pre-staging to staging. Right. Now, when your data will move from staging to data warehouse, staging to data warehouse in SCD type 2 table. So first always it will check like this employee ID, like employee ID is a primary key, right? So if this primary key, this employee ID exists or not, this employee ID, do we have this employee ID in the data warehouse in SCD type 2 table? Do we have?
No.
Right? If we do not have any data available in the SCD type 2 table in data warehouse, then what you will do, you will directly load those. Okay, here the SID, what will be the SID value, the surrogate key value?
1.
1.
Yes, it will be 1. Now start date, remember, always remember, always. Okay, either you will get start date in your source, from your source, okay, or if you are not getting from your source, so whenever you are uploading this record, let's say you load this record in data warehouse in 1st of January, so your start date will be 1st of January 2021. Okay, and date can be blank, can be null, or it can be any futures date like your 12 or and 4 times 9. Can you see the year, right? Do you think that year you can see and till you will live, right?
No.
No, so this is a futures date, right? So your end date can have 3 type of data, 3 type. Okay, what all 3 type? It can be null, it can be blank, and it can be what?
Any futures date.
Any futures date. I already provided, right? So it can be any futures date. Okay, so these 3 values, okay, will be for end date column. Okay, this will be for end date column. Okay, sometimes some of the projects, some of the client always use end date and as null. Some projects, some clients always use end date as blank, and some of the projects, some of the client always use end date as a future state. I gave you these 3 scenarios. So if someone will ask you, like, if you are going to load any new record, like this record is getting loaded here in data warehouse in type 2 table, so interviewer can ask you, like, what will be the value for any inserted record in the for the end date column? So your end date can be null, blank, or any futures date. Clear? End date?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Whenever any new record will be loaded here in this type 2 table, always that will be active record. So that the value for that record will be 1. Okay, so here I am 1 second. So the value will be 1. Let me format it. Okay, so always whenever any record will be inserted here in SCD type 2 table, so that will be a active record. So that is active or not. If you are working any SCD type 2 table, then you need to keep focus on the active flag, active column. Okay, if you are looking only the latest active record, then you need to use active flag equal to 1. Okay, let's see some more example for this. Like this is the case whenever any records comes very first time. So this is a way how it works. Okay. Now next is, let's say this user, like from Pune, he changed his location to Hyderabad, right? So this is the next example. So this is the update case, right? The same, the data will be loaded from source to Prestaging, and then from Prestaging, this data will be loaded into the staging. Okay. Now, who will help me? Tell me how it will work. This is my already existing table, okay, in the data warehouse. Okay, this is my already existing table. Now this is my new data. Okay, so how it will work always, how it works?
It will add one more extra row with the same ID.
Hold on, Pradeep, hold on. So what it will do, always whatever is the SCD type, like we have learned SCD type 1, this is SCD type 2. So what it will do, it will always compare the employee ID, whatever is the primary key. So here is a key is your employee ID, right? So it will compare first, do we have already exist or not? It will check, yes, 101 already exists. If that is already exist, then what it will do, it will first close the previous record. Okay, it will close the previous record and insert the new record. Okay, so how it works, it will be loading the new record here. And what is the date today? Let's say the date was 5th of Feb. So 5th of Feb 2021. We loaded this data on 5th of Feb, right? So what will be the end date for this newly loaded record? What will be end date? End date will be always your null, blank, and any futures date. So we are keeping the any future date. So we will be keeping this. Okay, now the latest record will be always the newly inserted record will be your always active record. This is your active record. Okay. Now, what will be the surrogate key value for this second record?
2.
For everyone, right? It will be 2.
Yes, 2.
Right. So it will be 2. Okay. Remember, whenever any update will come for the existing record, like this 101 was already exist. Okay. The new, there was one update. The location was changed. So in SCD type 2, whenever there will be any change, we will be loading a new record for that. Okay, we will be marking that as active, and for the previous record we will mark as deactive. Okay, because any user can be at one time at one location, either that will be present at Hyderabad or that resource will be available in Pune, right? So now, as of now, he is staying in Hyderabad at Hyderabad location. Okay, so Hyderabad will be active and we will mark Pune as deactive, means 0. And remember, we will have to provide the end date as well. So whenever he will start to to stay in the next location when he started. He started to stay in the Pune location from 1st January 2021, and he shifted to Pune on 5th of Feb. So 5th of Feb will become an end date of the previous record. Okay, so there will be 3 changes. First, you will have to update the active flag for the previous record. You will have to deactivate that record. Second, you will have to mark the end date, whatever is the start date for the next location, for the Pune location, that will become a end date for the previous record. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are going to see the same SCD type 2 with multiple scenarios. Okay, let's look with the new example. So after Hyderabad, we move to Pune. No, after Hyderabad, that user moved to Delhi. Okay, so let's have this example, Delhi. Okay, this data available in source. From source, this data will move to pre-staging, and after pre-staging, data will move to staging. Now, here will be a case. We do have this table available in data warehouse. This is my SCD type 2 table. Okay, now you will be looking always whenever you will compare, like this is my employee ID 101. Okay, you will be comparing this employee ID with only the active record. Okay, in the data warehouse. So here, this is my active record. So you will be comparing, like, do we have already exist this employee ID 101? Yes, we do have this employee ID. So do we have any change available? Yes, we do have change. Like here is city Delhi, and currently available in the data warehouse, that is Hyderabad. So we do have a change. If we do have a change, what we will do? We will copy the same record from the source, I mean from the staging, and we will be loading into the data warehouse. Right? We have loaded this. Now, what will be the value for SCD, SID, surrogate key?
3.
Right? It will be 3. Now, start date. Let's say this is loaded on 10th of March. Okay, so 10th of March will be a start date, right? (2021), right? What will be the end date for this?
Future date.
Right? We are keeping the future date. So let's keep any future date. And what will be the active flag for this?
1.
It will be 1. Okay, now what will be the value for this previous record, the active flag?
0.
We'll mark that 0. And what next we need to change over here for the previous record?
And
And
End date. What will be the end date for this?
10th of
10th
March.
March 2021.
Yes, that will be right. So if you will be looking at the latest record, your latest record will have end date, any futures date, blank or null. Okay, and for the rest record, for the previously deactivated record, we will have some very specific end date. Okay, there will be always end date provided, or that will be always the past. Okay, that date already gone. Okay, and your recently loaded data will be active record. So if you will look at this SCD type 2, so if your requirement, your project wants to store some historical data as well as you want to keep the updated data in your data warehouse, so you will use SCD type 2. Okay, so SCD type 2 will always keep the history as well, like this. The first record, this user, Manit user, was staying in at Pune location from Jan to Feb. Then he shifted his location from one of the location from Pune to Hyderabad. Okay, then after some time he changed his location from Hyderabad to Delhi. Okay, and now he is staying in Delhi, right? Whatever the active flag is one, that will be a current state of that record. Let's see one more example. I will ask from you. Okay, let's see one of the example. Okay, let's see, we will get the same record again. Okay, again the next month we will get the same record. The same record will be loaded here. The same record will be loaded in the staging. Okay, now in data warehouse. Okay, we do have this table. Vipin.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me how it will work.
Yeah, first we load the data of staging to data warehouse.
Without looking anything?
Wait a second. No. We have same records here in staging, also in
Okay.
data warehouse.
Okay, first you usually check the same record. Yes, you do have already available. Okay, now next.
Next we will load that data. Load the data in data warehouse.
Okay, be loaded. Next.
Next will be we will look the start date and active flag. We will do.
Oh wow, thank you. Next, Preeti.
Yeah, Yogesh.
Okay.
We'll assign the surrogate key for this. New
Okay.
key will 4.
Okay.
New key will be 4.
Okay.
Okay. And then suppose we are moving this record today, so we'll give the start date.
Understood. Thank you, Preeti. Okay.
Record is available there, so don't.
1 second, man. 1 second. I'm coming to you. Okay. Swami.
So existing data will be the same, no, sir? Yeah, just no change in data warehouse. I mean, no new record coming, sir.
Okay. Manit. Okay. Pradeep.
Yogesh, I think that start date end date will be changed. Nothing else.
Nice. Thank you. Okay. So, Praveen.
Actually, it's stored in the existing data. Already is there. So only the start date and end date will be updated.
Okay. Nice.
Anant here. I'm sorry, I was on mute.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
So what was your question? I'm just trying to.
Okay. My question is, like first time when this record came, okay, so it came on in January month, okay, and that was loaded over there. Then there was a change in the location, okay, in Feb month he shipped to Hyderabad, So that record loaded. Now he shifted to Delhi in March. That loaded. Okay, and all logic applied over there. Now the same record came again with a Delhi location. So what will happen in data warehouse? Now this
Yeah.
was my question.
Okay, so what would happen is the flag would change and the date would change. That.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
sorry,
you.
sorry, Delhi. Sorry, Delhi was already there, right? Or is this?
Yeah, this was in the third record. Yeah, that is already loaded.
Oh, it was already loaded. Yeah,
Yeah,
if that's the case, I think it's just the date, right? Won't be the.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because it's an incremental load, right? Incremental, but there is no change in data.
Right.
So I guess it will reject. Not sure.
Okay. Yeah, no issues, no issues, no issues. Okay, Yogesh. Yes.
I think it
Go ahead.
will load because the data is available already in the database.
Okay. Okay. So guys, let me tell you again how it works. First, whenever any record comes in staging, okay, let me remove this record as of now. Whatever we loaded, okay, through VPN. Whenever any record comes in staging, first always it compares like this ID is exist or not, right? Do we have that ID available in data warehouse? Yes, we do have. That's good. And whenever we compare, we don't compare with all the record. We always compare with the active record. Do you follow me? Do you follow me? We always compare with the active record only, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we always compare with active record. Then whenever we will compare, like this record already exists. Okay. Now it will compare. Do we have any change in this? Do we have any change? Like employee name, Manit. Okay. Date of birth, this, there is no change. City, there is no change. If there is no change in any of the column, then there is no need to upload the record. There is no need to update the record because he is already staying since March. Since 10th of March, he is already staying in Delhi. Then what is the need? What is the purpose to loading again the Delhi record? There is no use. No use. Okay. So if there is already existing record and there is no change in the data, okay, there is no change in the data, then we don't load that kind of record. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Let's take one more example. Okay, now he will move from your location Delhi to Noida. Okay, so be careful this time. Now from source to pre-staging, pre-staging to staging, data will be loaded. Now here you will see like you have already existing this data, right? This is already existing data. Now first you will be comparing the employee ID, right? So I am comparing this employee ID column. Do we have already exist? Yes, we have 101 already available. Okay, then how it will work? Deepali, can you help me? How it will work now?
It will load the record as it is. Once it compare the employee ID 101, employee name is Manit, DOB is same, but city get changed Noida from Delhi. So it will load that record, update the surrogate key as 4, update the start date as suppose today's date, and end date will be a futures date, and active flag become 1 for fourth record, I mean for surrogate key 4, and for surrogate key 3 record, it will become 0.
Okay, thank you. So how I'm going to tell you again how it compares. That will help you. Okay, for everyone. So first, it always check. First, it always check like, do we have this ID already available in SCD type 2 table? This is first check. Yes, that is already available. Then you have passed one first step. Then you will move to next step. Do we have any change in these columns? This will be your second, because before this record we were having this, right? There was no change. If there is no change, we don't load that data, right? So first we compare the IDs. Do we have that ID available in SCD type 2 table? Yes, that is my first check. That is already available. Next, do we have any update in these columns? Employee name, money. Yeah, that is already available. Date of birth. Yeah, that is same. City, Noida. But here is active is Delhi. Do we have update? Yes, we do have update. If we do have update, then what we will do? The same case. Okay, Vipin, help me now.
Yes, sir.
So how it compares? Like this record come, okay, in staging. Now we need to compare. We need to look like this record will be loaded or not. We don't know. Now this is in staging and this is your target data warehouse. How it compares?
First employee ID with the staging employee ID with the data warehouse employee ID.
Okay.
Then employee name with employee name. Then date of birth with date of birth. Then city with city. If there is a change,
no. See. Just take this information in two different categories. First, it always check like, do we have this record available in data warehouse?
Yes.
We compare the IDs. Yes, we do have available. If we do have available, we usually compare with the active record only, right? Now,
Yes.
if we do have that available, then we will compare the values for the rest columns. This is the second step. Okay.
Yes.
If these three columns, then we will compare these three columns value, like name is same, date of birth same, city is changed. Then if there is any change in city, then we will perform the next. Okay. So what we will do now, like we get the change in city. Okay. Now what we will do?
We will write. We will load the data in another row.
Okay. Now next, what we will do?
The start date and start date.
Like this is coming on 4th of May 2021, right? This came to right now.
Yes. Then end date, future date. It can be.
Okay. Future date. Okay. Now
Active flag 1. And in third row, active flag is 0.
Okay.
And date will be 04/05/2021.
Okay. Nice.
Yes, and surrogate 4. Surrogate key 4.
Yes. Thank you. This is a correct value for this. Okay. Now this employee again move to Pune. Do we have already Pune? Yes, he was staying in Pune. Now let's have this. Preeti. So same record will be loaded in Prestaging and same record will be loaded in staging. Now we do have already exist this record, this table in data warehouse. Okay. So Preeti, what will happen now?
Now it will check for the employee ID first and we'll see the employee name, date of birth, and city, whether this records already exist.
Okay.
Okay.
So employee ID 101. This is my employee ID, and we do
Yeah.
have already exist this employee ID, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now what next?
What then it will check for employee name, date of birth, and city. As the city is different, it will load the data.
Okay. So here let's compare these three columns. Like name is Manit. Yes, Manit is available. Date of birth, yeah, same date of birth.
Yeah.
And city is Pune. We do have
Yes.
already
Yes.
already
Yes.
one record
Yes, we
available
have.
Pune, right?
Correct. So it will not load that data.
Okay.
So, so no, sir. So it will come with the new surrogate key, and this time the flag will be active because before it was inactive. So it will again get active, and the latest record will get updated.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Can someone else also take a try for this? Manit. I think you are on mute.
Yes, sir. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So now so what would happen now is Pune gets updated in the city field.
But we do have already Pune available.
Oh, sorry, sir. Yeah, okay. So it's like updating the flag to 1, is it, for the old record? And
Okay.
the current record changes to 0.
Okay.
And the date also changes.
Okay, nice. Thank you. Who else? Pradeep? Pradeep,
Yeah, Yogesh.
tell me.
I think start date and end date will be changed. That active flag will be 1 for Pune.
And nice. Thank you. Okay, now let me explain. Guys, remember always, can you change the history? If in 2001, your Prime Minister was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, can you change today the history that history? Can you change? Can you say that time your Prime Minister in India, that was someone else? Can you change that history?
No.
No. So here in case of data warehouse, we never ever change the history. First, remember that. So if you do have these three records in data warehouse, those are staying, those are lying with active flag 0. You will never ever touch those records. Be remember always. First. Second point, whenever you compare, you always compare with the active record. Okay. Whenever you compare your staging record with data warehouse, you always compare with the active record only. So what is the active record in these 4 records? The 4th record, right? The 4th record, this is the active flag 1, right? Now, if you will be comparing like 101, do we have 101 with active flag? Yes, we do have 101 available with active flag. Now, you will be comparing these 3 columns data with the active record only. You will not be comparing the data with the deactivated record, with the history. You never ever compare with the history. Okay. You always compare with the active record always. Okay, so you will check name is Manit. Yes, name is Manit. Date of birth is this. Yes, date of birth is same. City is Pune, new city, but old city is Noida. So what will happen? We do have change in city. Okay, so if there is any change in city, you all are aware, the same record we will be loading, and the surrogate key will be 5 now, and here you will be loading the start date. Swami, what will be the start date?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Swami.
Start date will be today's date, sir.
Yeah, let's say for an example, we are loading on 5th of October 2021, right? So this is now what will be The end date?
And it will be the future dates.
Okay. Huh. 1 second. Okay. What next? What we will do now?
And next active flag will be 1 sir, for circuit key 5.
Done?
Then,
Or do we need to change anything else as well?
yeah, and subject key 4, it will be 0. Active flag will be 0. Sir.
Okay.
And
What else?
end date will be the 5th of October 2001.
Yes. Thank you. So all clear. Now, if there is any update is coming for SCD type 2, so how you will handle those reports? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me take one more example. Guys, let me tell you. How many type of SCD types we do have? How many type of dimension table we will have?
5 types.
5. Dimension 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So 99% cases, mostly projects works with these two. With these two means either they want to keep the history. If they want to keep the history, then which dimension table they will use? Type 1, right? Weapon. SCD
Yes.
type 1, they will use, right? If they want to keep the history.
Yes.
No, sir, no.
Update
No.
dimension table.
We are keeping the history in SCD type 2, right?
Yes.
Weapon, we are keeping the history in SCD type 2 table. Like you can see, this record came 5 times, then we are keeping the history all 5 records, right?
Right.
And with the active record as well, whatever is the active. Right? So there is only 2 scenarios. Either you want to keep the history, either you don't want to keep the history. If you want to keep the history, then which dimension table you want to use? You will use in your project. SCD type 2, right? SCD type 2. If you want to keep only the latest record, I mean, which SCD type you will use?
Latest record.
Yes, which SCD type you will use if you want to keep only the latest record in your table?
Dim 1.
Yes. So we will be, if you want to keep only the latest record in your dimension table, so you will use dimension type 1, dim 1. If you want to keep the history, the entire history, then you will use SCD type 2. So these two are very critical. Okay, I explained in detail, right? Now we will be learning type 3, type 4, and type 6 as well, but those are not too much important. But let me tell you with the same example, all 3 as well. Okay, so let me tell you, let me have a separator. This okay, so we do have this. Okay, now this is SCD type 3 we are going to learn. Okay, let me keep this. Okay, so we are going to learn SCD type 3. So if we do have SCD type 3, so in source there will be same structure, in prestaging there will be same structure, in staging there will be same structure, in your data warehouse. Okay, here will be little change. So we do have, let me copy something from there. Okay, so let's keep this. Okay, so whatever columns we do have here, so let me remove first these 3 columns, whatever we added for SCD type 2. So let me delete. Okay, now okay, so we do have this, whatever number of columns we do have in source, same 4 columns we will have in target. Okay, and we will have first column as your surrogate key. Here in SCD type 3, we will have one extra column that will be your previous stage of your data. Okay, previous stage of your data. So I can keep previous city. This will be your previous city. Okay, so you will be keeping this one extra column in your type 3 table. Okay, previous city. Okay, so how it works, SCD type 3, how it works, let me explain. So if any new record will come, like this record is coming with Pune location, so it will be loading in source, then pre-staging same record, then staging. One second. Okay, so whenever you will be loading your data in SCD type 3 table, okay, so either that is any kind of SCD type, any kind. So your first validation always, what is your first validation? You always compare this key, like this is the key, right? Employee ID. Do we have this employee ID already exist in your data warehouse? Do we have?
We don't
Yes.
have.
No. If we don't have, then we will be directly loading this record, right? What will be the value of SID?
1.
1.
1.
And what will be the value of previously?
Null.
Yes.
Null.
That can be null or blank, right? Clear. Now, next, if any change will come in this table, okay, let's say he will change his location from Pune to Hyderabad. Okay, so what will happen now? The same record will be loaded in your pre-staging, then same record will be loaded in your staging. Then how it will work? Who will tell me?
It will compare the employee ID, so it's already existing.
Okay.
And it compare with the employee name, date of birth, and city. City is changed here. So SID will be 2, the same employee ID.
Okay.
And
so this is your record. Okay. So first you will be you are comparing with this ID, right? Then what
yes.
next?
I will compare with employee name and date of birth, city.
Okay. Yes.
The city is changed here, so it will be added a new row. So SID here, the surrogate key will be 2.
Okay.
Employee ID is 101 and the money. and date of birth, city as Hyderabad. Here the previous city will be updated as Pune.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, if any new record comes, like first time we loaded the record, but if any update will come in the existing record, okay, like here, we do have this record in staging, then we are comparing with this employee ID with employee ID. Yes, this is already exist. And it will compare the rest record. Do we have any update in the city? Yes, we do have. Okay, if we do have, then your current location, whatever you are getting, that will be loaded in the city. And what was your previous city? What
Pune.
was your Pune? Pune. That will be loaded in the previous. Okay, that will be loaded in the previous column. Clear? Next, let's say he will shift after some time from Hyderabad to Noida. What will happen? Same record will be loaded in pre-staging. Same record will be loaded in staging. Okay. Okay. What will happen here?
Yeah, Yogesh.
Yogesh, first update the previous city as Pune for previous record.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Pradeep, you tell me how it will compare.
Yogesh, I think nothing will be done.
Nothing. Okay. Okay. Vipin?
Sorry, Noida city, right? Sorry, I didn't.
Huh?
City will be Noida and previous city will be Hyderabad.
Okay. Okay, someone can please tell me how it will work? How it will work functionality wise, how it will start to compare step by step. Someone, Yogesh, can you please?
First, it will compare the employee ID.
Okay.
So its employee ID is existing. Then it compare with name, database, and city. Here the city is changed.
Okay.
So it will be added new surrogate key.
Okay.
And all the data is loaded into the data warehouse.
Praveen.
Yes.
If any update is coming here in SCD type 3, we never ever add new record, right? Like if you have seen in the second record, okay, an update was coming, okay, did we add new record for that? No, we did not add new record. Okay,
Update the existing record.
okay, okay. Manit, can you please help me how it will start to compare and how it will go step by step?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it compares first with the employee ID.
Okay.
And then once the match is established,
okay,
it goes to check for any change in the record and it detects the city has changed.
Yes.
And
Okay.
it moves the current city to the previous city field and the new city gets added to the city field in the data warehouse.
Thank you. This is the step-by-step comparison. Thank you so much. Right. So this is a step-by-step comparison. Okay, I'll be adding one more record. Okay, I'll ask to a specific person, so you need to tell me that, right? So let's say after some time this record will come. Okay, after certain time this record will come, right? This is in your source, and same record will be loaded in Prestaging. Same record will be loaded in staging. Now you do have this data warehouse. This is SCD type 3 table. Okay, so Preeti, tell me how it will compare step by step, and then what will be the final outcome.
Okay. So here the first it will compare the employee ID.
Okay.
Okay. So the employee ID will be same. So it will get updated as it is. So employee ID, employee name and date of birth and city. All four are same as previous. So it will get all four updated as same here only. And then it will check for the previous city. So as we know, the previous record was also Noida and here it is Hyderabad. So I think it will, I don't know whether it will update previous city or it will remain as a Noida only.
No. Okay.
It remain as Noida. Yeah.
Yeah, Deepali.
It will not update anything in the data warehouse.
Okay. Why?
Because as we compared, employee ID
Okay.
is same, employee name is same, date of birth is same, city is same. So it will not update anything.
Okay, next. Thank you.
And Yogesh, for second type of record, second, I mean, row number 72, you have dated previous city as previous. It should be a Pune.
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That will be. Right. That will be Pune. Right. Thank you. Okay. So here, how it compares, again, let me tell you. First, it compares the employee ID. If employee ID match, then it will check the rest records. Do we have any update in all these three columns? The name, date of birth, city, we don't have any change over here in the data. If we don't have any change in the data, then we don't touch the target table. And always remember, whenever you will compare the city, you will compare with the city column, which will hold the current value. The previous city, we never compare any data with the previous city because that is a history. That is a history. We never compare any data with the history. Right? We never compare. Okay. So your question can be like in type 1, we always keep the updated data. In type 2, we always keep the entire history as well as the updated data. But here in the type 3, SCD type 3, okay, in SCD type 3, Pradeep, how many, can you please tell me what is the advantage of type 3? You have already looked at the data.
Okay. It will have history plus current data, updated data.
Okay, all the entire history it will have. Okay.
No, previous.
Yeah, only the previous. Like this is your latest data, your last record. Okay, you do have this record. Okay, here your current city is Noida. Previous city was Hyderabad. But what was the previous city before the Hyderabad? That was something Pune. Can we get from here that city Pune from here using this information? No.
No.
Okay, so SCD type 3 always have two versions of data, current version and the previous version. So if you do have any scenario like where you want to keep the data in your data warehouse table, only the updated record, only the latest record. So which SCD type you will use? Which SCD type table you will
Type
create?
1.
Type 1.
SCD1.
Right. Now, if you want to have the current version of data and the previous version of the data in your data warehouse dimension table, so by which dimension table you will create in data warehouse?
SCD type 3.
Yes. If you want to create a table, dimension table in data warehouse, and there you want to keep the entire history of the table with the entire history of the data as well as the latest data. So which SCD type you will use?
2. Second.
Right. So this is what we do have different advantages of all kind of in India. Are you aware, like we usually change the city name, like after 10 year 20 year, some of the politicians came, right? And they usually change the city name, like
Yes, sir. Allahabad to Prayagraj.
yes, and there was a name of Chennai previously, something else as well, right? So so this is something which, and that is not happening very frequently. Okay, that might happen after 10 year 20 year. Okay, so there, which SCD type is better to keep that kind of data? SCD type 1, 2 or 3, which is better for that? If you want to keep the city name of any country, or like in India, okay, then which SCD type you will use? Tell me.
SCD 3. SCD type 3.
Yes, because it might happen. So let's say if there is a city like Delhi, so Delhi will be the name of Delhi, but after 10 year, 20 year, 30 year, might be some party will come in over here, right? And that might change the name of Delhi. So I mean that might happen, but case will be very rare. Okay. Is historical data is deleted from data warehouse in case of SCD type 3? No, we never delete any kind of data from data warehouse in any of the table. We never ever delete first, right?
So I'm confused in SCD type 3. So
Please ask.
getting the new city and the previous city once the new record came. So what happens to the first record? Means I'm not talking about the last previous, the previous one.
See, that will you not be keeping that, right? You will be keeping only 2 versions of data in SCD type 3, the current version and the previous version. Like if, like, see the first report that is coming very first time, you will be loading, right? And you will be loading the city into the city. Okay, now next, if any update will come, like in the second report, okay, so your Pune location was the previous location, that will come the previous, and whatever new location is coming from your source, from your staging, you will be loading in the staging. Sorry, in your city column in your SCD type 3 table, right? Now,
yes,
after some time, let's say he will shift to Noida location. Okay, so Noida is your current location. Okay, you updated your current location as Noida data warehouse, and your previous location will become now this Hyderabad, right? Now, before Hyderabad, whatever location was there, whatever city was there, that you are not keeping in your data warehouse.
okay.
In SCD type 3, you will be keeping only 2 versions of data, current version and the previous one. Okay.
Okay.
Clear for everyone? Is this clear? Or anyone has any doubt, please ask. Either I will move to next type 4. Okay. So I think we are good to go in type 4. Okay, so now we are going to learn SCD type 4. So here, let me change the name SCD type 4. What is the full form of SCD? Slowly changing dimension. SCD is a slowly changing dimension. What is the full form of SCD? Please repeat with me. What is that?
Slowly changing dimension.
Yes, remember that name. Okay, because this table is something have multiple names. So interviewer might ask you, or some of the companies using something, some different companies using. I mean, if you will be aware with all these names, SCD types, tell me the SCD types. So you can tell them. Someone will ask, tell me dimension type in the tables in data warehouse. You can tell them. If they will ask like, what is that slowly changing dimension, and tell me the slowly changing dimension types, you can tell them, right? I mean, these are the ways they can ask and they use in the companies, right? So this is your source table, this is your target table, this is your pre-staging, this is your staging, and this is your data warehouse. Okay,
Who will wrote protocol for this
sorry,
dimension? Who will
who will Praveen, can you please repeat who will?
no. Actually, we are going to, as a tester, we are going to verify whether the data are moving from staging server to data warehouse or not. These are the conditions you mentioned here in dimensions.
Okay, so see, if I understood you clearly, so you want to know like how data will be loaded, who will be loaded, and what will be, right? Is it your query? Something else?
Yes.
Okay, so there will be like, first of all, we belong to QA team, right? This should be in our mind. Okay, and we will have always different environment, like dev team will be working in dev environment, QA team will be working in QA environment, there will be UAT environment, there will be production environment, right? So we will have a QA environment. So if we will have a QA environment, then we will be having source, we will be having pre-staging, we will be having staging, and we will be having data warehouse. Then for loading the data, we will get the jobs. Okay, we will be learning after this week. Next week we will be learning with the project, right? You will have to execute those jobs in your QA environment. That job will be responsible to load data from your source to pre-staging and staging and data warehouse, right? You will be loading that data, and then you will be validating as per the requirement document. Okay, clear?
Whether these same SCD types followed in all companies or it may be different?
Some maximum, like you can think like 90% cases companies use SCD type 1 and 2. Some of the companies use for some of the cases SCD type 3. Some of the companies want to keep rest like type 4 and type 6, sometimes very rare case. Okay, but maximum case, see, there is two scenario always. Do you want to keep the history of the record in data warehouse? If answer will be yes, then you will use type 2, right? Second, you don't want to keep the history, then you will use type 1, right? So those are very specific. If you want to keep the entire history, you will use type 3. Sorry, type 2. If you don't want to keep the history, you will use type 1. So this is very simple. So more than 90% case, each and every company will be using type 1 and type 2. Type 3, very rare case you will find. type 4 very rare case, and then type 6 might be you will get or you might not be get. Okay, but we will be learning whatever we do have, right? We will
And
be learning.
and one more thing. Either we have to we are going to work either one of this type only, not all the types.
You are going to work type 1 and type 2 100%. Okay.
Okay. Both are either one, either type 1 or either type 2.
Sorry.
For particular project, anyway, we are going to use either type 1 or type 2 like that. Or we use both.
For each and every project, you will have both type 1 and type 2. Both. See, what is the purpose of data warehouse? You will have two type of databases, OLTP and OLAP, right? I explained. Like OLTP is what? Your online transactional processing, wherever your current transactions happening. Then you do have one of the system OLAP. OLAP is what? Online analysis processing, where you analysis your data, and you always have your data warehouse as an analysis, right? For the analysis purpose. There you will be keeping the historical data, always the historical data. So you will be keeping type 1 and type 2 both, at least. Okay. If you are not keeping type 2 or any historical data in the data warehouse, there is no use of your data warehouse. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's learn the type 4. Okay. So in type 4, what will happen? So first, you have learned type 1, right? So in type 1, whatever number of columns you have, the same number of columns we will have there in type 4. Whatever number of columns you will have in type 1, same number of columns you will have in type 4. Okay. So here in this table, like in type 1, you are keeping the history, right? In type 1, SCD type 1, you were keeping the history, right?
No, sir. No, we don't keep this.
Yes. So in type 1, we always keep the latest record, right? You all are aware. Okay. We always keep the latest record. So in type 4 as well, we keep the latest record. How to? Let's see. Let's say we do have this record. Very first record, Manit is staying in Pune. Okay. Now this record will be loaded in Prestaging, then staging. Okay. Then it will check here. Okay. In the same way, like, do we have already exist this employee ID in target? No, this is not exist. Then what will happen? It will load the data directly, and then it will add one surrogate key. Right. This is one of the table we do have. And same kind of data, same kind of number of columns we do have in type 1. Then what is the difference between type 1 and type 4? Okay. So the difference is we do have actually two tables in type 4. First, the first table will be same as type 1. That will always keep the latest data. And your second table will be your historical table. So employee location underscore history. Okay. In this history, you will be adding two more columns. What will be? The start date and end date. Okay. So how it will work? Let me explain. Okay. Let me explain you how it will be working. So first, whatever record you will be added in this data, in this type 4 table, same record will be loaded in your historical table as well. Here you will be loading the start date and end date as well. Your start date, let's say you loaded this record on 1st of January 2021. Okay, and date can be your end date can be
future blank
Future date.
null.
it
Null.
can be your future date, it can be null, it can be blank, any of these. Okay, that depends project to project, company to company, client to client, right? Okay, now so this is something how it is happening. And let me tell you one thing, whenever your comparison will be happening for any update record, so always you compare with the history or you compare with the active record only, the current latest record. I'm asking. Your voice was not audible. I did not get that. Can someone please tell me? You compare the latest record or with the historical record?
Latest.
Compare with active record.
No, Pradeep, you are not audible. Someone else?
Latest record.
Okay, thank you, Praveen. Someone else? Someone else? Okay, yeah, sure, you guys. No problem.
Yeah, it's the latest record.
Yes. So always whenever comparison is happening, always, so that will be with the latest record, that will be active record. So active record will be in your main table and your historical data will be available in the history table. So whenever you will be comparing, then you will be comparing with the main table. Okay, you are not going to compare with the historical. Okay, so this is something. Let's change the location of for this employee. Okay, and let's see what will be the outcome if any location will get changed. So he will change his location from Pune to Hyderabad. So Hyderabad will be in Prestaging and Hyderabad will be in your staging. Now your location, now what will happen? You do have this table available in your data warehouse. Okay, and this is in your history. Okay, so now how comparison will happen? Can anyone tell me? Deepali? Deepali? Vipin?
Yes, sir. First with the latest record, employee ID with the employee ID.
Employee ID with employee ID. Employee ID with this employee ID, the in the history.
Employee location.
Employee location. Okay.
Yes. First compare with this. If there is, and then after that, all the columns like employee name, date of birth, and city. If there is change, like city is change here, Hyderabad to Pune. So we will change that city to Hyderabad and also update that record also in employee history location. Start date we have to write.
Yes. So we will be loading this record again in the table. Okay. Now we will, let's say this is coming on 10th of Feb. Okay. 10th of Feb 2021. So end date will be something, and the end date will be what for the previous record?
Yes, like 10 21.
Okay. And what else we need? Do we need to change anything else over here?
End date.
Surrogate key.
Surrogate key 2.
Yeah, surrogate key 2, like this, right? So this is something how your comparisons happening in type 4. Okay, let's see some more examples. Let's say he will change his location from Hyderabad to Noida. Okay, so here the same record will be in your pre-staging. Same record will be in your staging. Now you do have these tables, these records in your dimension tables. Okay, now here Pradeep, how comparison will happen now?
Yeah, it will check for latest record. I mean active record. If the data is changed, it will change the data into. I mean here Noida is changing, right? City. It will change the city, and whatever we did change, that will add into the history table.
Yes.
Like
please go ahead.
Like here, yes, SID surrogate key will be 3 and employee ID will be same, name will be same, data will be same, location city will be changed to Noida, and that start date will be changed, the updated date will become, and end date will be like null or empty, whatever it will be, and this second surrogate key end date will be changed like this updated date.
Okay. So first it will compare with the active record. Active record will be in your main table, right? So like here employee ID is same, we get employee ID, then we'll check like what is the change. There is a change in location, so whatever is the updated location, that will be updated, okay, in there. Then whatever is the current record, that will be loaded in your historical table, okay, and here your new surrogate key will be added. Now let's say we added this record on let's say 15th of March 2021, then this will become a end date of the previous record, right? So this is how your type 4 works, right? Let's see one more example for this, okay, that will be more clear. Now let's say for an example, this record again come, okay, the very first record, okay, the Pune location, this record came. The same record will be loaded in pre-staging, same record will be loaded in staging. Now in data warehouse, what will happen?
Active record will be changed and one row added to the history.
How? Pune was already there. Here is Pune. It was already loaded here, na? See, it was already loaded, man.
The time period is changing.
Sorry?
Updated time will be changed, right?
Updated time
Date,
will be
date.
Update date.
Yes.
With the Pune location, right?
Yes.
Nice. Good. Someone else?
We always deal with the updated records, latest record, not with the previous one. So
I gave you example. Like
yes,
if in 2001 there was a prime minister,
Atal Bihari Vajpayee,
right? Will you change that history? Will you say like that was the Indira Gandhi at that time?
No, sir.
No, you cannot change, right? So the same case here, you cannot change the history. Okay, you cannot change the history, right? So you always deal with the latest record. And where you will get the latest record? In the main table. Your historical table will always have a historical data. Whatever data is over there, we don't care. We really don't care. Whatever data is there, we always compare with the main table. Okay, we always compare with the main table. So it will check like, do we have this employee ID already exist in the data warehouse? Do we have? Yes. Then it will check that's 3 columns. Do we have any update? Yes, we do have update in city column. Okay, then city will be changed and same will be loaded in your historical table. Okay, new surrogate key will be added and your, let's say you added on 6th April 2021, you loaded that record on that day, that will become a end date of the previous record. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
When you loaded this record in data warehouse, the latest record, when you loaded,
You will load it.
sorry, the date, what is the start date of the latest record? Right, 6th of March, oh sorry, 6th of April, right? On 6th of April, you loaded that record, right? Now, this was the date of 6th of April, right? Now, in October month, you get the same record. Okay, in October month, you get the same record. So that is in your source. The same will be in Prestaging, same will be in your staging. Now, in your data warehouse, Preeti, what will happen? Preeti, what will happen?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, tell me.
So here again, it will change the employee location, where it will first compare the employee ID, employee name, date of birth, city. So here it is again the city is same. So I don't think so anything will be changed here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because every time I say it will change, so there it will not change. So I think here the previous record is same as the next record. So here it will not change. I think.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, actually, first it will compare with the ID. Okay, like this is ID 101. Yes, this is available over here. Then it will check the rest like name, date of birth, name, and the city. Name same, date of birth same, and city is again same. All 3 columns are same. Then there will be nothing happening, right? So we are not going to touch in that case this table, this target table, these two, right? Nothing will be happening. Clear? Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
So are you clear like how type 1 works, how type 2 works, how type 3 works, how type 4 works? Are you all clear on this? All clear, everyone?
What is the difference between type 2 and type 4?
Sorry, type 2 and?
Type 4.
Okay, in type 1 and type 2 and type 4, you can think like that. Type 4 is a combination of type 1 and type 2. Just think like that. Like, what is happening in type 1? In type 1, we always keep the latest record, right? In type 1, we always keep the latest record in a table for a specific employee ID, right? If any update is coming, we directly update that record over there. So we always keep one record for one ID. Are we keeping the same kind of record in type 4 in one of the main table, the latest record? Are we keeping the same? Right?
I have type 2 and type 2.
Yeah, one second. So there is a one table, main table in type 4. We are keeping the latest record, right? So that is nothing, only your type 1 kind of table. You can think like that. Now, in type 4, in type 2, what we are keeping? We are keeping the entire history of the record. We are keeping the entire history of the record. If that record will come 5 times, we will be keeping the 5 record in that one table. But here in this type 4, we are keeping all record, like this record came 4 times. So we are keeping 4 records in the history table. So you can think like we have 2 tables, type 1 and type 2. Okay, type 1 and type 2. And if we're keeping the data in type 1 and type 2, means the latest record in one of the table and the history in second table. So that will be your type 4. So your type 4 will be combination of type 1 and type 2. Okay. In type 2, we always keep the latest record and the history in one of the table. But in type 4, we keep the latest record in another table and history in another table. Right? Clear?
Yes, yes.
So I'll request you, please try to practice with the same kind of examples multiple times. If you will do this activity a couple of times for each and every dimension types, so things will be on your tips. This is really very easy. Okay, so whenever you will go for interviewer might ask you, tell me type 1, tell me type 2, what is the difference between type 1 and type 2, when we use type 2, when we use type 1, I mean these kind of things they can ask, right? So I gave you with the examples, right? Try to learn these, try to practice with these. I explained in very easy manner with the examples. So you will be keeping these examples with you. It will help you how this works. Okay. So let's close the class here today. Okay. And tomorrow we will be completing the last dimension type 6, and the fact and dimension, fact tables and the schemas. Okay. Okay, thank you. Anyone has any query, please ask.
Yogesh, could you please send that whatever you did in Excel? Could you please attach that Excel in our group?
Yeah, definitely. I'll upload at the location. At the same location, you can download anytime from there.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll do that. Anyone has any query, then please ask. Otherwise, I'll close this. I think we are good. Okay, guys, I will request you, please practice on those assignments. Okay, those SQL queries will be, because see how you will be comparing these kind of data, right? So there will be some joins, there will be some SQL queries will be used. Okay, so if you will be practicing on those SQL queries, so how you will practice? You can just complete those assignments. Those will be in a practice for that, right? So it will be easy for you, and those will be something which sometimes you get in interview. I'll add more queries over there. You need to complete that as well. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's meet tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye-bye.